And hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Alright, so today I'm going to show you how I create my thumbnails. So basically, they're not always really very interesting. For example, like this Ishka thumbnail right here. Not really very interesting, not a lot happening. And then there is this thumbnail right here, which is a little bit more interesting. More things are happening. You know, there will be a little bit more engagement and stuff like that. This is the one I'm going to create a thumbnail for and a template, so stay tuned if you want to create a template thumbnail. And as you can see, most of them kind of have the same theming around them. There's not a lot, there's like a little bit of a colored border, and there is like what it is, subtext. Of course, this does look bigger if you go scroll on YouTube. Right now, at the moment, it won't look very large. So first thing you want to do is you want to open up GIMP or Photoshop or whatever you're going to use to edit your images with. I am going to use GIMP because I find it fairly easy. I'm going to say File, New, and the size you wanted is 1280 by 720. This is the recommended size by YouTube, or anything 16 by 9, like 1080p would be fine, 720p is fine. Stuff like, as long as it's 16 by 9, you know, aspect ratio. So once you have this, then we can actually start. Alright, so I usually like to start out right here with the text. And I like my Ubuntu Medium usually for the main text. So here we can do something such as Linux basic tutorial. And we can just like move this inwards. And I like to make this a nice large size, one that's easy to be seen. So 95 is actually a little bit small. I'd actually go for a little bit bigger. Maybe something like 120 is often a good size. Then I'm just going to go here because it has a default spacing, letter spacing, and we don't want that letter spacing at the moment. So then we can go right here and we just position it nice close to the center at the top, that it stands out. And then maybe here you can like give a little example of maybe what's going to happen inside of the tutorial. So in my case, it's going to be shortcut keys. So then we can go here and I'm just going to say, I wonder, maybe, I think what would be even better, because this is the part where we basically have to check out. I'm going to remove this and I'm just going to keep that as Linux and call this basics tutorial. And then I'm going to move this Linux to the center a bit. I'm going to resize it to maybe 150. And then I can give it a bit of letter spacing, maybe something such as 5. And yeah, that looks fine. And I'm going to give it a nice border and stuff later on as well. In this basics tutorial, there's going to be right underneath it. I would like to give this some sort of letter spacing as well. The size is fine. Maybe give it like a 10. Ooh, not 100, I meant 10. What? 10. There, 10, okay. And then we can just like position a little bit more to the center. Maybe this one can go a little bit more up, not too up, because we're still going to add a border. And then we can just, oh gosh, whoops, Control Z that, and I'm going to move this slightly more like that. And that looks fine. Then we need to create a part, and this will be part 1, so I'm going to do that. And here I want to make this fairly smaller. It shouldn't be that big, maybe something like 50. That's maybe a bit too small. We need to make sure that people would be able to see it. Anything under 50 might be difficult to see depending on your font, so I would recommend maybe anything from 50 and up would be best. So let's see, 60, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. We can maybe give it a letter spacing of 5. Or not even any letter spacing. Yeah, that looks fine. I would recommend you not put it here. At the point I did put it here, and that did cause a few problems because you can't really see what part it is since the timestamp goes here. So this part right here, don't put any text here because you don't know the timestamps here somewhere. So I would recommend you put it nice here. And underneath it, I would like give a short, like the title of the video or something like that. So shortcut keys. Like, it can be a nice short title. You would preferably want it to be slightly bigger than this. So this is 60. We might want to make this something like 70 or 80. Let's see how does 80 look. 80 looks fairly nice. And I would recommend you get this to cover a fair amount of ground, not a lot. So I would, but a fair amount so it stands out. So I would say maybe like 10. 10 is a bit too much. Maybe 8. Still a little bit much. 7. Maybe 6. Yeah, 6, maybe 5. Yeah. This should actually be a slightly different font, if you ask me. Let's see what other fonts are there. So I'm currently using this one. Ah, yes, italic. Yes, because then it makes it stand out even more. So yeah, I would make this one maybe italic. But I don't like this italic, but maybe this. Ah, yes, that does look better. Then we can maybe make this 90. And yeah, for right now, this should work perfectly fine. Alright. Now, this is the basic part. We're going to get you to setting the template because there's a specific time where you want to set the template. So right here, I'm just going to create a new and layer, because this layer is basically going to keep our border. So file and, or not file. And then you just want to click on this layer, Control A, so you select the layer. Then you want to say select border, and we want to make it around 20. It can be 10. 10 is fine. I just find it a little bit small, but I like 20 quite a lot. And then you can choose a few coloring. I like to give mine a gradient color. So I'm just going to go to gradient, press G on your keyboard, or go to tools. I think it's paint tools, and yeah, there's gradient. You don't need the gradient, but you can always use the bucket fill tool. But anyways, then here I would like to make it a kind of bluish color to give it like an Arch Linux or Kali Linux feel, because then Linux is associated with hacking and stuff like that. So if you make it a hacking colors and stuff like that, people would be like, ooh. And green is also seen as a hacking color, darker green, but yeah, we can maybe just move down this way. And we can just check out how it looks. If it doesn't look good, then we can change it. And yeah, I think that looks fine. We can change the background coloring because I don't like it. Just maybe click something like escape or move or something, so you can just set that there. Control Shift A. Then click here on background. Then right here you might want to change a bit, so I'm just going to go Shift B for bucket fill, and then I'm going to choose another color. So you can keep it white. I just don't like having a plain or white background, because it just feels a bit weird, a bit strange, So maybe I make it a nice color that stands out. I don't want to go for blue or green again, because those two already exist here. And do we have an yes? So is there maybe a different one? No. So like here we can go straight around, so we can go here, somewhere around here, and this will complement it. Let's see, how does this look? Yeah, I don't like this coloring too much, but if we go here we can modify it just a bit to look better. Yeah, that looks better, and I think that should work. You can also maybe give this a gradient coloring if you think it would look good. But actually, I think I would like to give it like a hacking look and feel to it. I'm going to go to Pixabay, because Pixabay is a great place to like find free images that you're allowed to use anywhere. So maybe we can just go like hacking or hacker or hack, anything like that. And you can just search that up. Make sure you're selecting images. And yeah, then you can just find something that looks really, really cool like this. Like really like hacking. We can maybe go for this one, because that's purple, so it's going to fit in as well. Just download that. And let's wait, and there it's downloaded. We can open up GIMP again. We can go here and we can go to downloads. And right here we want to drag and drop this. Alright, and that doesn't look too bad, although it is a little bit light, and it's not going to be very good for your eyes, or for the viewer's eyes. So I might want to create a new layer right here. and we can make it an empty layer, a transparent layer, and just maybe, or maybe even, yeah, we don't actually need this new layer. We can move it up because we're still going to use it. Then this background layer right here, make that black because we want it to be black. So we can just fill that, and as you can see, it became black. So if I do this, it's black. Now this one, we want to turn down the opacity. This will make it slightly darker. You know, so you'll still be able to see this background. It just won't be as visible anymore. Now take note, these, you can't really see them as well anymore because dark takes on dark background. So what you want to do then is you want to add some borders and stuff to this text, which we'll get to soon. That's why this layer is here. Now here we want to go doing things like this Linux, for example. We want to select this and we want to say alpha to selection. Then we want to go to select and we want to say grow. Grow about 5 is fine. Usually I wouldn't go bigger than that because then it's just going a bit overboard. You know, but then you can stay with bucket tool and you can just select this layer down here. You can even rename it if you want, something such as is there even a way to rename it? Probably like a properties or something. But anyways, just click on it and then just fill it. Now what's happening here is if we were to remove this Linux, then as you can see it's on the background. And that's basically what's happening here. That's what this layer is here. It's basically to keep that text. Same here, basic tutorial. We want to go and say alpha to selection, select, grow, 5 is enough. Select this layer right here, and boom. Ctrl-Shift-A to deselect. And now we basically have this. You might even want to swap this around and make the text white and the border black, but that's up to you. I'm just giving you the basics here. Then here you can save it before we continue on to these two. So let's save it, and I'm going to save it inside of YouTube, Steve's Teacher, Tutorials, Linux Tutorial. I'm going to call this thumbnail template, and I can just say save. And now it's saved. Now this will be your template always. Do not press Ctrl and S again, because then we're going to overwrite that save. This is all you need, because now each time you want to change something, you just go here and you make this part 2 and you change the text here, and then you can just do the following, like add alpha to selection, select, grow, 5, select the bucket fill tool, select this layer, boom. And we can Ctrl-Shift-A, and we can go here to shortcut keys. We can go here, alpha to selection, select, grow, 5, select this layer right here, and boom. And now you can export it, and then when you then you can just close it and don't save anything then. And then when you come back to the template saved file, you can just modify this and do this step again. And in here, basically, this is the Linux tutorial. But I'm not done yet. In fact, I think I'm going to Ctrl-C and just remove this because I want to add an image. I want to add a Linux image. I'm going to go here to Downloads, and I'm going to select a Linux image. I can't see any. This is the only one I have, so I'm going to say Open With, and we can go and just say Open With GNU. And I can just say fuzzy select, go here, and I can say alpha to selection, damn it, fuzzy select again, and just say does it already have one? I think it already has one. Yeah, it already has an alpha channel. Then we can just delete, and here we go. Now we can do this. We can go here and we can drag and drop it here. Now I would just go Shift S to scale. Okay, so then I can just resize this, because this will tell the people like, hey, this is about Linux. We can also give this a border later on as well. I can just scale that, and then in fact I want the Ubuntu logo. I want Linux Mint. I already have Linux Mint logo, so I don't need that. And then I want the Debian logo. I want the Kali Linux logo, and I want the Arch Linux logo. Anyway, so here we have Linux Mint. I can just go Shift S and resize it. Okay, then we can just resize it here. And this one can be slightly smaller because it can be like hanging around this little penguin right here. And then we can drag and drop Arch. And Shift S. We can zoom out. We move this around. And we can like maybe make it like stick around here. Scale. Okay, and then we can go Arch Linux. Kali Linux. And then we can just scale this. I kind of feel it's a little bit empty here, so I'm going to just throw that in the middle. It might be a bit difficult to see at the moment, but we are going to make that easier to see. Then Ubuntu, this one should be nice and easy to see, because most people are going to use Ubuntu. So I can just move this, and then just scale it as well. So it's going to be nice and big, so people can see it easily. Scale. And then only one more. And let's see. Yeah, okay. So you can move this and see, here is the problem, because there's going to be a little thingy here that's going to annoy me. So I can maybe like put it on the penguin, you know. Make it Debian based. I don't want to rescale it because then you lose quality. But anyways, then it can be on the penguin. And yeah, here we go. That's a little bit, you know, full, but it's not bad. Now what I want to do is I want to go here and I want to say alpha to selection. And actually this one doesn't need anything. So I'm going to go here to Ubuntu and I'm going to say alpha to selection. I'm going to say select, grow, and 5 should be fine. You can maybe make it a bit bigger. I think we're going to make it a bit bigger. Select, grow, and we can go 10. Yeah, that looks better. And you can just go to bucket fill. And you can go to this one right here, this layer, which is used for the text. So if we go up here and I disable that layer, as you see, the light coloring on the text is gone. And you can also make this like different coloring instead of just white, but you know. So it's still a little bit difficult to see, but it's fine, not too bad. You can maybe even make this background a little bit less visible, so it pops out everything here. You can maybe also this little tux logo, the Linux logo, you can maybe like do alpha to selection there as well, and just say select, grow, and make it 5 or something small. And then we can use bucket fill, which is Control B, and we can just go and we can just go here to layer and fill. What? No, it's red. Okay, let's just do that and boom. Yeah, now this stands out. Now you can save this as the new template, because this is what you're going to use each and every time, and then you can just modify this text right here. So part 1, we can say alpha to selection, select, grow, 5, bucket fill it with white. And then here we can go to shortcut key and we can say alpha to selection, select, grow. There, grow 5, and we just fill it on this layer, preferably. And then Control Shift A, and there you go. Now you have your thingamajiggy, your thumbnail. Then you can just say export, and either as PNG or JPEG, both will work perfectly fine. Now I'm going to just call this Linux. Now, a thing you should note is I think YouTube only allows up to 2 megabytes of image size. So if the image is bigger than 2 megabytes, you might want to export as JPEG to make it smaller. But let's see. It shouldn't be bigger than 2 megs. There we go here. Go to Documents. And it's right here, and it is 1.4 megabytes. So it's still small enough to fit. And here's the logo. Now each time I want to modify this logo, I just have to change this. And I just have to leave everything else as is. And yeah, there we go. That's how you create your thumbnail and thumbnail template. So that template you can edit each and every time you need to create a new thumbnail, which brings down the thumbnail creation time from this like 30 minutes that I just showed you, down all the way to maybe 5 minutes max. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed and can now make your own thumbnails. See you all in the next video.